Hi guys, it's Katie, and today I'm going to attempt to make a coffee soap. So I have some coffee that I froze into these ice cubes. That way when I add the lye and it heats up, it doesn't scorch the coffee and give kind of a burnt smell to it. So I'm going to measure out ice cubes. I don't know if I have enough. I might have to top it off with plain water. Whoopsie. I'm just going to top it off to get to the full amount of water, just with plain water. So I have 172 grams of water, and I'm going to add my lye. So I need 65 grams of lye. So I'll just tear that out and measure out 65 grams. And I'm just going to stop and stir after every addition. Alright, so I have all of my lye in, and there's still a few small pieces of ice cubes, so I'm just going to set this aside and let those melt, and I'll start measuring out my oils. I'm going to use 113 grams of coconut oil. Next is going to be 113 grams of olive oil. And the last oil I'm using is beef fat, or tallow, and I need 226 grams. Alright, I'm going to clean up a little bit and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to blend my oils just to make sure everything is mixed well. And now I'm going to add my lye coffee solution, trying to pour it on the shaft to keep it from splashing too much. And now I'm just going to blend this till it gets thick. Alright, so it looks like that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and add fragrance oil. I'm using this one, roasted coffee. I'm just going to mix it again to mix that in and to make it a little bit thicker. So this is taking a long time to thicken up, and this is my first time using the tallow, and it's also my first time using cold liquid with the ice cubes, so I don't exactly know what that is. I also kind of made my own recipe, so there's a bunch of variables here. But my stick blender just died on me, so I guess I'm done blending since this is coming apart down here. So I'll show you what it looks like. You can see it has started to thicken, but it's a pretty thin trace, and I wanted to add coffee grounds, so I was hoping to get it a little bit thicker so that the coffee grounds wouldn't all sink to the bottom. But I guess this will have to do. I think I'm going to do some without coffee grounds and then some with, just in case they don't turn out great. And that's what it looks like. So just barely settling on the top. So I guess we'll have to go from here. So I've just been stirring it by hand for a couple minutes, and it's just barely showing up on the surface, if you can see that. Let's see if I can get, you can see it laying on the surface there. So I guess that's the best as I'm going to get tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some. I'm using these silicone cupcake mold. And I'm going to do, I think I'll do 4 without the coffee grounds. Okay. And I have these are old used coffee grounds. They're actually the coffee grounds to make the coffee that I'm using. I'm just going to start with a little bit and see how I like it before I add a bunch in there. So, stir it up. There's nice little black flecks, and it's supposed to also be sort of like an exfoliant, so that'll be cool. Oh, you see it in there? Maybe a little bit more. And the coffee grounds are from my husband's press, so they're kind of compressed. I probably should have crumbled them up a little bit before I put them in. There's some bigger lumps in there, but I think that looks good. Can you see that? So, go ahead and pour these last 2, and I'm going to have some left over. Okay. So with the rest, I'm just going to pour it in my regular loaf mold, and it's just going to be really thin, but I think if I cut them like maybe 3 bars, then that will work, instead of filling up the loaf and slicing them. Move this back. So instead of slicing like this and getting the whole height of the mold, I'll just, I don't know, go the other dimensions, I guess. Let's see how this turns out. I was going to try to resize this batch, but I don't know, I was getting a little bit nervous that I was going to totally screw it up, so I just stuck with the 1-pound batch recipe, and I'll just have this extra. It's not even really coating the bottom, so it's not even going to be very thick bars, but it'll be fine. Maybe I'll chop it up and add it to another soap as like confetti or something. Alright. So yeah, it's not even filling up the bottom. Oh well. Alright, so I'll set these aside for, I guess, 24 hours to see how they turn out. and then I'll show you what they look like when I unmold them. Alright guys, so it's been a little bit less than 24 hours, so I thought I would go ahead and pop these out. I checked them a little bit ago. They seem like they're gonna pop out just fine. Alright. So that's one that doesn't have the coffee grounds. And this mold works out really well. It's so thin, which is not necessarily good for actually making cupcakes, but for these, I'm not exactly sure what that is. Maybe it wasn't mixed properly. But they pop all the way out so easily. Just press from the bottom. Yeah, that has one too. Not exactly sure what that is, but these are the ones with the coffee grounds. I'll do these ones too. Yeah, if you know what that is, leave a comment down below. I've never seen that. But aside from those spots, the soap looks really nice, really opaque and creamy. I don't know if that's from the tallow, but I really like the looks of these so far. And then with the leftover, I put it in this mold, but it was really thin, so what I ended up doing was kind of scraping it over. It thickened up a little bit, so it kind of just stayed in that end there. So I think I could get, if I cut it like this way, yeah, cut it this way and get two sort of smallish bars. And just pull this back. Let's see. And that's what the back side looks like, all of the coffee grounds. Alright. So that's everything I have for the coffee soap. I hope you liked the video. And like I said, if you have any idea about this discoloration, leave a comment down below. I'd appreciate it. I'm not exactly sure what that's all about. Alright, until next time guys, hope you enjoyed it.